Let's talk about the Couch to Marathon. How's it going?
It's going awesome.
Yeah.
We're having a ball doing it. But we've got some struggles. There are some struggles that I want to take this next few minutes and talk about. Two things that we can guarantee about running, whether it's a 5K or whether it's a marathon. One, it's going to be uncomfortable. Two, it's going to be worth it. We've got some real issues that we need to discuss over the next few minutes, and these are issues that we've had before, and we're going to have again, and we're going to continue discussing these issues from really now on. We're never going to be out of a job for talking about these things because this is just human nature. But I want to talk this morning about the trap of comparison. We'll talk about this in the context of running, but this applies to all areas of our life. It could be the comparison of money. It could be fame. It could be talent. It could be a lot of different things. But we're going to talk about it in the context of running. Outside of injuries, the trap of comparison can end your running career just about quicker than anything.
Yeah.
And it's because that's kind of our human nature is we look around and we say, well, that person's better. That person makes more money. That person has more fame. That person's faster. We fall into this trap of comparison all the time. And we've seen that over the past few days. We're in week 3 or 4? In week 3 of the marathon challenge, but it's week 3 of the 5K challenge right now. And whether everybody listening to this thinks it or not, we pay close attention to what's going on in the Run Club Facebook group. We see the struggles, and I'm so proud of our group because, man, this group just comes around people almost instantly. Before I can get on there and see what's going on, questions have been answered, encouragement's been given, and a lot of times people already feel better, and they're so thankful that they're part of this group. But let's talk about the 3 types of runners that we have in this group. Number 1, we have what I call the seasoned high-octane runners. Now, Dean, you fall into this category. I put Lane in this category, my son Lane. There's some others in this group who fall into that category. You can see, all you got to do is pull up their Strava, and you can tell they're high-octane. Go get it. I want to be the best runner I can be. These are the people who they commit a lot of time to their craft. Lane is in St. George, Utah right now as we're doing this. Lane's not taking a senior trip. He's not doing all the normal things that a high school senior does. He's out there fine-tuning his craft. You have the goal of breaking state records and doing things that most 99% of the people can't do. That's our high-octane people. Now let's take Lane. We were talking about Lane on the way up here. Lane has a goal of one day of being in the Olympics. Lane will never get to the Olympics if he falls into the trap of comparing himself to other people.
That's right.
There are always people faster. You say this all the time. There's always somebody faster. Well, the correct thing for even a high-octane runner to do is use those faster people as motivation. And that's where the really great runners that's what they've done, is they've looked at those people and they said, not, they're faster than me. They've looked at them and said, I want to beat them.
Yeah, it's a matter of not comparison, but aspiring to.
Aspiring to, absolutely right. So that's one group of runners that's in our club, and they are golden. We need those people in our club. The second group is probably, I'm going to say the second and third group are probably tied for the size, what percentage of our group they take up. The second group is recreational runners. I put myself and many others in this group in that classification. They love to run, but they don't have the desire of high-octane runner. They do this to stay fit. They do this because it's a lifestyle and it keeps them healthy. It keeps them able to do other things. And they look at high-octane runners and they're inspired. It's not that I don't have the thought that I want to beat Dean Thompson one day. That thought has never crossed my mind.
It's a good thing.
Hey. Start talking smack.
I couldn't help it. Couldn't help it. Sorry.
But it's true. I have my own goals, and most people in this group have their own goals of why they're in this club. But they look at high octane runners. I love Angie Hawkins, who was on here last week. She made a comment on one of the posts. She said, "It's funny how we all look at things different. I look at people like Dean, and I don't know if she said any of the names, but I look at people like that, and I'm inspired by what I see, and it makes me be better at this craft, even though my aspirations are not to be that high octane runner." So that's group number 2. We've talked about high octane runners, and we've talked about recreational runners. Let's talk about the third group, and this is where I want to park for just a minute. These are new or coming back to running runners. Mm-hmm. Over the years, we've had over 200,000 people fall into this category. We know what these people are thinking. We know what you're thinking. If you're in this group, we understand. Trust us. These are the people who they've never run or exercised, or maybe it's been years since they've run or exercised. Many of these people are overweight. They're in this club and they're overweight, and they're looking around and they're starting to think, why am I here? What am I doing here? Not why am I here? What am I doing here? Some of them may be depressed, and they don't even know it.
Yeah. And
this group could maybe it's bringing some of that to light. I want this group of people to understand. I know what you're dealing with. From a mental side, maybe not so much, and we're going to get that in. We're going to get into that in just a minute. But from a physical side, listen to me. If you can hear my voice, I did that 90-second run yesterday beside all of you, and it was hard for me. I haven't ran in almost a year. I took almost a year off of running. So I know exactly what you're going through physically, because that 90-second run, it was a struggle for me. It's not as much of a struggle mentally because I've been there before.
Right.
But many of the people listening right now haven't been there before. So trust me. Trust me and listen to me. Listen to what I'm about to tell you. If you're in this category, listen closely to my voice. You can do this.
Amen.
You can. This plan is not too aggressive. It's not.
Nope.
200,000 people, over 200,000 people have gone through this plan. It works. Don't let yourself go there. I can understand completely why the mind wants to go there. Mm-hmm. Well, this is just too much. It's too hard. It's too this. This is us looking for excuses not to do it.
That's right.
Don't compare yourself to those first two groups. Use them as inspiration. Everyone in the first two categories started right where we're at. Mm-hmm. You had your first run.
That's right.
And you thought that first 3 weeks of running, you were going to die. Correct?
Yeah.
Everybody. If you're in week 3 or week 4 of this program right now, everybody has been where you're at. Know that.
Yeah.
Know that everybody has been there. I can remember vividly.
And it doesn't matter what age you are.
No. Age is no factor here.
Yeah.
Age is no factor. That's another excuse that we're going to just kick out.
Right.
It's you're not too old.
Right.
We've had people older than you doing this program. I can remember vividly, my very first class, I was running beside a lady, a lady who was older than me. And I remember in that very first class, it was dark. We were having the class at night, and we were going up this hill at one of our local parks. And I remember her saying, "Mitchell Hollis, I hate you." And I wore that as a badge of honor because I was pushing this lady outside her comfort zone to do something that she knew she could not do. And she was vocalizing it right then. Well, guess who that lady is? Gay Coker,
Yep.
who is on our staff now, who's ran many, many races. She's ran many half marathons now. 11 years ago, Gay was saying in week 3 of this class, I hate you, Mitchell Hollis, for putting me through this. Mm-hmm. Now, she was joking, maybe not. Half joking.
Yeah.
Maybe she still thinks that now. I don't know.
Sometimes.
But it changed her life, and it can change your life too. It's hard. I get it. It's incredibly hard. I tell people all the time, the hardest miles you will ever run to become a runner is that first 2 miles.
Yep.
The first 20 minutes. The first 20 minutes of this class, we don't get there until week 8 of this class. Until week 8, we're running and walking and running and walking and running. And I hope that's what you're doing. I hope you're not skipping ahead, because I've got a bone to pick with you on another issue. But I'm talking to the person who thinks they're not going to be able to make it. Go with me to week 8. Go with me to that first 5K, because you will have a breakthrough. Yeah. We've done this long enough to know that if you will stick with it, you will have a breakthrough both mentally and physically. Now, it may be in week 8. It may be that first 20-minute run, and you say you can't do it, and you get done with it, and the floodgates open, and you're crying your eyes out. I've seen this.
Amen.
It may not come to your first 5K.
Yep.
Everybody's different on when they have that breakthrough, but rest assured you will have that breakthrough. If you're in this category, get out your piece of paper and write down why you started this. We talk about this in the class a lot, but it bears repeating. Write down why you started this and put it on your bathroom mirror. I've already seen several posts of 26.2 written on people's bathroom mirrors. Yep. That is awesome.
Yeah, it is.
But if you don't have your why in front of you every moment of every day, if you're not seeing that every day, something else is going to creep in.
Yep.
It's going to be, this class is too hard. It's too aggressive. I don't have time. My work is crazy. Whatever. We all have these things. You ran, what, 300 miles last month?
330.
330 miles.
Yeah.
You're a busy guy.
Yeah.
But you've learned to get rid of those excuses, to not let those enter your mind. Think about the flagship verse for Run for God. Hebrews 12:1. Therefore, I'm going to break this down and I'm going to read it slowly. Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders us and the sin which so easily entangles us, and let us run with endurance the race marked out for us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith. Okay, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, people are watching us.
That's right.
They're watching you in this process, and they're watching how you react, how you respond, who you're giving glory to, what your sportsmanship is, what your attitude is. And the devil is trying his best to sour every bit of that.
That's right.
So know that people are watching you. That's why we always say that for instructors or coaches who want to teach this class, watch out, because your second class is going to be much larger than your first. And it's because your first class may have 10 people, but rest assured there's 200 people watching those 10.
Yep.
And then they say, oh, well, Sally can do it. I can do it.
Yeah.
So know that people are watching you. You're surrounded by that great cloud of witnesses. Let us throw off everything that hinders us and the sin that so easily ensnares us. What are the things that hinder us? I can't. Most of the things that hinder us are in the 6 inches between our ears.
That's right.
No doubt about it.
That's right.
It's I can't. It's this program is too aggressive. It's too long. It's too much. All the things we've already talked about. And let us run the race with endurance that is marked out for us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the author and perfecter of your faith. Now, I want to ask you a question. If you're listening to this, was God involved in bringing you to this ministry?
Good question.
I have to think he was.
Mm-hmm.
We hear it all the time. So if God was involved in bringing you to this ministry, then he helped you formulate that goal, whatever that goal is. If it's a 5K, if it's a 10K, or maybe you're doing the marathon challenge with us, then it begs to reason that if that goal is up on your mirror, you're fixing your eyes on Jesus every morning when you get up. Jesus birthed this inside of you, and he put this goal in front of you. And if you've got that goal on your mirror and you're looking at it every day, to me, it's not much of a stretch to say this is fixing our eyes on Jesus, the author and the perfecter of our faith. He birthed this through us. Guys, I love every one of you listening to this. And I'm sure I stepped on some toes here. And if I did, good. I tell my pastor all the time, his best sermons are the ones that I leave that sanctuary mad at him.
Mm-hmm. Little uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. He got too close. Charlie, you shouldn't have. You're meddling here. But I know, just like HR 11 years ago now said, Mitch, don't let this become your God. I was so upset with HR Poe. But I realized that was God speaking through HR Poe. So if God can use you and I, we're not here to make you feel good. Dean and I are not here to make you feel good. We're here to help you do something that you might have never thought was possible. Sometimes it's messy.
Yeah.
Sometimes this process is messy, but in the end, it's worth it.